Yo, what's happening? I want to take you through something real quick, something I use every single day. Do you shoot stuff on your phone? You know, I shoot a lot of stuff on my phone. Photos, videos, Instagram stories, some YouTube videos, and I also sneak a bit of phone footage, admittedly, into client work, which most people don't notice because unless you're looking out for that sort of thing, phones are pretty good nowadays. Anyway, concentrating mostly on Instagram stories for me. I've been doing daily stories filmed and edited on my phone. If you want to check any of those out, you can go and have a look at my Instagram. Dill Takes Photos, there's a link in the bio for that. But over the years, I've tried loads of different stuff, different gear, rigs. Oh God. One of the main things I've done a lot of is lenses. I use these lenses every single day. Like, I've put them through their tests. I mean, I've started anywhere from like cheap ones, like which are like from a pound shop, and they're a pound, and you know, you pay a pound, you get a pound performance. They're kind of shit. They do the job for some people. There's a load of different clip-on ones, and one of the more popular ones that I would have used would have been this brand here, a brand called MPAL. And again, pretty cool lenses, pretty easy to use. You just clip onto your phone that way, not the other way, not onto the screen. They've got wide angles, they've got macros. Again, they're okay. They're decent quality. They're like £12 on Amazon. And I've gone through a lot of them. I drop them, I break them, I lose them, forget where they are, I scratch them, they fall apart. I carry them everywhere, and they're on and off the camera like so many times a day. I've gone and I've used one of these, Moment lenses. Great lens, great build, nice quality. Flawed a bit by the clip, in my opinion. You know, the bayonet thing. And not the bayonet on the lens, but the bayonet on the case. My Moment case, right there, just snapped. And it didn't last long. Like a couple of months. And then the lens just rings through. It's basically an in 90-degree turn, and the lens should sit nice and tight. It just kind of got worn away from that bayonet like movement, in and out, and then if you accidentally twist it too far, well, you fucked it. Eventually it got so loose, and then one day the lens just fell off, hit the ground, shattered, gutted, very expensive. So then I found this company, Lemuro, German-based company making mobile lenses. They were a fair bit cheaper than Moment lenses, and they look pretty decent. I bought a fisheye lens as like a test. It's got a thread on the back that screws into the case. You know? So there's no bayonet, it's not coming off, it's metal on metal, which is kind of cool. I used that lens for a while, took a bunch of photographs, really liked it, really enjoyed it. So you can see it on the front, it's all kind of scratched. Now it looks like nothing there. When you're shooting that on your phone, you can see it's scratched. Anyway, kind of got a bit loose, lens started rattling. So I got chatting to the guys, gave them my feedback, sort of what I thought. Then they were cool enough to send me one of their wide angle lenses to have a little play with, which was kind of cool. It's not as wide as the fisheye, not as wide as I like it to be. The lens, by the way. Then they sent me a telephoto lens, which is also kind of cool, slightly different. And I've been using those three lenses for the last year, and I've kind of destroyed them all. I've wrecked them. Stood up to a lot of abuse, a lot of daily abuse, in and out of my pockets, dropping them, screwing them on 50 times a day. At one point, I broke a case because I balanced the camera on the phone on top of a door pointing down and counterweighted it with a banana. In hindsight, the banana wasn't heavy enough. The camera hit the ground, broke the case, and they were like, why are you doing this to us? So then after a bit of pleading, a bit of back and forth, we're like, Dill, can you chill out with the lenses, dude? They've been great. We're sending out a bunch of our new stuff because they've upgraded some of the lenses. They've got a few more different options. Sent me out a couple of new cases, boom, which are here. That's just the phone, there's nothing in that one. That's the inside of the case. Tan, black, I'm using black one at the minute. And he sent me out this, which is their, shit. That's why I keep breaking stuff. Their case, that's the case. That comes with all the lenses in it. Because I had like a makeshift one from a set of sunglasses. And inside this is all their different lenses. I've been playing with these lenses for a couple of weeks and thoroughly enjoyed them. The case is cool, it's what you would expect from a case. It's somewhere neat and handy to carry the lenses and put them in your camera bag. One thing I have to say, outright, I know there's a new iPhone, alright? And I know that there's lens options on that. And for a lot of us, that's probably fine. I didn't upgrade to an iPhone. I'm still using an 8 Plus, and I still use lens options. And these lenses will work with the new phones. The guys are in development for a new case for the new iPhones. So they'll work on top of those even more. So you'll get like a wide on a wide on. So you get a wide lens on a wide. you could end up being able to look into your own eyeball. I'm not sure why that would be useful, but there you go. This is just a quick look at some of these lenses that I've been using. So here's the lens they've got. They've got the fisheye lens, this is the fisheye lens. My favorite, because it's super, super wide and it's very easy to just get everything. It's kind of lazy, but I like that because it means I don't have to work that hard for those shots to get everyone in. Just what it allows me to do is when it's on the lens, it's really, really wide. So I can hold it up to my face when I'm walking and doing an Instagram story, and I don't have to talk as loud as you would if you were holding it out there. You know, it's bigger, it's bulkier, it's heavier, the glass is nicer, it's a much nicer build. Really, really cool, really enjoying that lens. That's the wide angle lens, pretty standard. Same as the last one, it's an 18mm, so you get the 18mm versus an 8mm fisheye, which is pretty freaking wide. Then you get the new telephoto lens, again, more robust build, bigger build on that, chunkier lens, better glass, really, really nice improvement. You got a macro lens, which I still, if you're into macro photography, great. I still don't find enough uses for the macro lens. That's like their key range of lenses, but, there's always a but, there's a new one to the table, anamorphic. Look at that. There's your blue line, folks. Everybody chill out. Screws onto the case, and you adjust by twisting. It's very cool and really interesting and also kind of confusing. Like, it's a real difficult one to work out what you're gonna do with it and who it's aimed at. These lenses here are like for anyone who's professional who wants to shoot in their phone as well, or anyone that just kind of wants to have a bit of fun and play with their phone, they're great. This is more for people, in my opinion, who want to shoot something a bit more cinematic on their phone. Like they want the challenge of doing that, or they just enjoy shooting high quality stuff on their phone. If you don't know what an anamorphic is, basically it's like an old 35mm film format that you would have seen a lot in like cinemas and drive-ins. And who remembers drive-ins? Do you ever remember drive-ins? Did anybody go? Anyway, that's what it was like. And basically what it did is where you would shoot widescreen, you could shoot on an anamorphic lens and it'll distort the image and stretch it up. And then when you project it back to the projector, you flip like a reverse version of an anamorphic lens on and it squashes it back down and it sort of stretches the image. What you end up with is more information, like more megapixels kind of, but it's film, remember? So more information squashed into it, which gives you a sharper, more detailed image. And also those dope looking blue lines that everyone, you know, loses their shit about. We're not shooting on film, we're not projecting things. So what this does is it stretches the image and then you have to make sure you squash it in post-production. So workflow is a bit of a pain in the ass until you work it out. You can either shoot it in the camera app natively on the phone and it'll literally give you this weird like vertically stretched image where you're like, and then you'll have to fit your aspect ratio for editing widescreen with the bars. You know, the point of it is you're not trying to put bars on top. You squash it down to fit that, so that the bars are legit and you're not just overlaying them. The way I'm using this, because that irritates me, that workflow, is I'm actually using the Moment app. Moment have a really cool app where you can adjust for all their lenses, but they work on the Lemuro lens as well. So I'm just using the Moment app, sticking in the anamorphic settings, putting it onto like a flat profile, firing that lens on, and then it's like squashing it for me. So you're seeing like a live render of what you're gonna see when you get out. And I've kind of enjoyed shooting with it. It's definitely difficult and it's really, really new. And I'm still trying to work out how I want to use it. I think I would use it for making short films or documentaries that I want to shoot on my phone, because I always enjoy the challenge of shooting on my phone. So we're inside a place called Victoria in London, just out in the street, give you a nice sort of vibe of what the building's like. I feel like it was a good place to show you how it reacts to different shapes, people, objects, light, all that sort of stuff. The 18mm wide angle lens. You get a more accurate shot, your lines are a little bit better, not as wide. That's probably my favorite lens for taking photos with. This is on the 8mm fisheye lens. You can see in that shot, it's really wide and really distorted, so you're getting loads of warp. Now, some people hate that, and I understand, but I'm a big fan of it. I think if you use it correctly, it can be really, really good. I like it. This next one is shot on the telephoto, which is a 60mm lens, by the way. This one's really, really tight, but of course you expect that. It's a more compressed lens, and in all honesty, it's very similar to using 2x zoom on your phone. So when you hit double zoom on your phone, it's very similar to using a 2x zoom. But the difference is you get a more natural blur, a more natural bokeh in the background, and that's kind of what's nice about shooting with that lens. Here's a shot with the anamorphic to show you exactly how that kind of works. I just left the full image in there so you can see the whole thing and how it sits, and also how it deals with that blue line. This next one is with the macro lens. Yeah, it's all out of focus. Obviously, it's a macro lens. Don't worry, I shot one of the rows so you can see what I mean. You know, it's kind of cool. You can get real nice close-ups of detail, but you can also shoot bokeh lights. And I know you're thinking that might not be something you'll do, but there's times for me like where I edit a lot in my phone and I might just want that bokeh, and try to get an out of focus photo on your phone. It's very tricky. There's some street lights and you'll get that natural bokeh from it because it's a macro lens and it's trying to focus there. And you're shooting something that's not there, it's very far away. So that's kind of a cool way of using that, and I quite like it. You can also stick it up to a bee's eyeball and have a look inside that, if that so pleases you. That's kind of just like a little test of the difference of the aspect ratio on those lenses. You can see how different they are. I've been shooting a bit with the anamorphic and I have really enjoyed it. I still need to work a lot more on it, but yeah, it's been really fun. If you shot that on your phone on an Osmo gimbal, you're laughing, it's gonna be beautiful. But personally, I have rigs, cameras, cages, Ronins, sliders, all that nonsense. And I'll use that stuff if I wanna get into that much detail. But when it comes to phone, what I like is that being in my pocket. So I can take that, unscrew it on and get this like cool, like cinematic sort of, I hate that word cinematic, and just do it handheld, you know? Just use the body glide cam. The glide cam we were born with. Unless you're one of these people. Then well, good luck to you.
Okay, all right. Add it up. Okay, all right.
That sequence from that anamorphic lens. What do you think? Like, I think it's kind of cool. I still think I need to do a lot more work with it. I'd like to shoot something specific on the phone with the lens, or maybe even do it in a bracket with a microphone, you know, indulge ourselves. So if you're someone that likes shooting stuff on your phone, or you're really serious about phone photography, videography, take a look at the anamorphic lenses there. They're kind of cool. I've been talking to and working with the guys at Lemuro for the last like year and a half, and they've been awesome. They've hooked me up with a few cases, a whack load of lenses. So yeah, big shout out to them. Thanks so much, guys. Cool talking to such a young company and being able to sort of, I don't know, give a bit of, give my insight, my thoughts into what they're doing, and also see what they're developing. I know they have a few new things coming out soon, which I'm really excited to see, and excited to see where they take this. So put some links below if you want to go take a look at the Lemuro stuff, check it out. But I'll put all the links below. If you want to see any of the stuff that I shoot on my phone, go and have a look. As I said, it's my Instagram account, Dill Takes Photos. That's where I put a load of that stuff, IGTV and Instagram stories. That's just 30-minute timeout. I knew that 30-minute timeout. Why did I let that happen? Anyway, same room, different angle. I only realized when I was editing it that it timed out. What an idiot. What I'm interested in is, do you shoot stuff on your phone? And if so, why? And I mean that like legitimately. Why? Like, why do you shoot in your phone? What do you shoot in your phone? I'm just intrigued to see what other people do. Just for fun? Is it family stuff? Is it stuff we don't? Is it throwaway stuff? Or are we shooting things? Are people shooting more content? What is that? More quality content for professional style stuff, even client work. Is anyone doing that sort of stuff? I know I do a bit of it, but I'm just intrigued. Anyway, that's me for now. If you have any questions about Lemuro lenses, you hit me up on my DMs on Instagram, or you can contact them directly. Probably them directly. They probably know more about their lenses than me. I'll tell you how to counterweight it with a banana. That's that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video, right? Where I will not let the camera run out 30 minutes in. Idiot.